It's 2020.
We're in Las Vegas.
And that can only mean one thing.
Welcome to CES.
Welcome to the biggest tech show on Earth.
Are you CES ready?
Featuring 180,000 people from 160 countries with 4,000 companies and one pizza-making robot. It's CES!
Goodness, he sounded excited, didn't he?
So should.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what is exciting. We've only got ourselves a blooming studio this year overlooking the actual show. That's CES just out there. Hello.
Oh yeah, it's quite something.
Yeah.
And we have for you the latest announcements from here, as well as getting our hands on some of the most exciting looking gadgets that have made their way to Las Vegas. In fact, Spencer, you've been in the water with one of them, haven't you?
Certainly have, yes. There's water in Las Vegas, and here it is. This is Lake Las Vegas, an oasis in the desert. This is Stacy, and this is the Hydrofoil XE1. It's an electric bike that you pedal on the water. Of course it is. As you pedal, the electric motor turns the propeller, which pulls you forward, and the hydrofoils underneath act like aircraft wings and lift the whole caboodle out of the water. It's the same sort of thing you might have seen on racing yachts. Well, it looks manageable, doesn't it? I mean, how hard can it be, really? Okay. And as long as you pedal hard enough at the start, you can get the lift you need and you are sailing. They said, do you want to go for a bike ride in Las Vegas? So I said, yeah, why not? They also said, do you want to go for a trip on Lake Las Vegas? I realised they meant at the same time. Ah! And here's the problem. Until you get the hang of it, there's quite a bit of this. And this, and this. Oh yeah, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh! The trick, apparently, is if you feel the bike start to overbalance, steer into the tilt, but lean the other way. And when that doesn't work, try not to swear on camera. Now, I was hoping to show you more of my successful rides, but you've already seen all of them before the winter water temperatures got the better of me. So please watch Stacy being too cool for school while I tell you that experienced riders can get up to 13 miles an hour. The battery gives you an hour of ride time, and the price is nearly $7,500. So if you buy one, find some warmer water and practice, practice, practice. She makes it look so easy. I nearly had it. I swear I nearly had it. I just need a couple more goes, but right now, I'm absolutely frozen.
That looked difficult.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was difficult and cold and wet and wet and cold. But here's the thing, right? If you go out there, everyone will tell you that their thing is amazing. And spoiler alert,
It's not.
so we want to test as much as is humanly possible. And someone who's tested more than is humanly possible, if you ask me, Lara.
I've tried, and some of the things that I found most exciting this year have been for the smart home. So here are a few of my top picks. There are always plenty of smart home devices at CES, but some of them are a little more creative than others. It's called Wheel Me, and the idea is that you can summon your furniture using your voice or an app, or do so remotely. Naturally, we figured that we could have some fun with this, so we've been trying it all around the house. This is all thanks to some smart coasters that are under here. Wheel Me are currently a prototype stage, and they are eventually going to be miniaturised to around 25mm. But right now, I've got what I need just here in front of me. I'm going to take that, these, and it's time to do a spot of cooking. Let's get started. Where's that smart bin? The towel now automatically opens and you can pop your rubbish inside. A sensor inside it will be able to tell when it's full, so it can automatically seal the bags, or you can do it manually like this. Now I can take out the sealed bag, and once I close this, the new bag will move into place by itself. It will keep doing this until you've used up all 25 bags that are in the cylinder. I felt this was a little small for a kitchen, but the company is working on a larger version too. Okay, I'll just leave that to cook for a moment. Oh no, I've spilled some coffee. Luckily, we've got a robotic mop and vacuum to hand. What a coincidence. Narwhal has already mapped the room, so now it's time to mop the room. You can set it up with a choice of different programs to use, and in the future it will actually be able to do just spot cleaning. Whilst it does have a seriously hefty price tag, what makes this device different to other similar ones is its ability to self-clean. Once it's made its way back to its base station, there's one section of clean water and another section that will become dirty water after those mops have been washed. Now it'll need to do that after every 30 square metres of cleaning, so that really is a fair bit. That's quite a lot of goes around this kitchen. That looks ready, but I could do with actually taking this to the show floor. Luckily, I've got this lunchbox which actually heats up. Heatbox uses steam technology to heat the food inside. This section here is where the food goes. It's sealed with this bit of rubber to stop either the food leaking out in your bag or any of the water seeping into the food. The makers have considered the fact that this may not be enough food for some people, and that's why these removable trays are easy to just stack up. You can have a few of them and just keep swapping them in to warm up all the food. Okay, there's lunch. I shall warm that up again when I get there. Time to head back to the show floor. I brought some lunch. This was all pretty easy. All I needed to do was put a spot of water underneath the food. Then in 10 minutes, it was piping hot.
Lovely.
Oh, sorry, I didn't actually make you any.
Charming. Oh, well, there's a pizza making robot here apparently. It does 300 an hour, or as I call it, just about enough. Tell you what, let's look at some of the really big announcements from this week's show. Is that all right?
Not bad.
CES loves a new TV, but the challenge has often been persuading the rest of us that we actually need them.
Samsung went big on 8K QLED displays, also embracing AI to upscale lower res content. The edges on this TV are so thin, it's being described as almost bezel-less. In fact, 99% of what you're looking at there is just screen. But if you're struggling to understand why anybody would actually care that the frame is just a little bit smaller, then at least this one has something very different about it. Samsung Zero not only works horizontally like a normal TV, but also vertically. Take a look at this. It may be only 4K, but it'll mirror your phone, and is being considered a future concept based on our changing habits of how we consume media. Still a limited amount of content in this shape, though. Still seems better the old way.
Meanwhile, LG Display was suggesting more uses for its transparent and flexible OLED screens. In an aircraft, for example, in a car, and in the living room. Here's the follow-up to the roll-up TV that we saw 2 years ago. This one rolls down. What will they think of next? Interestingly, the original roll-up one will go on sale later this year for $60,000. The pitch is that if you have a really small living room, you can maximise the space by rolling the screen out of the way. Although if you're paying $60,000 for a screen, I suspect you don't have a small living room.
Better known for their consoles than their cars, Sony unexpectedly unveiled an electric concept car. The Vision S features 33 different advanced sensors, multiple widescreen displays and immersive 360 audio. Don't expect one to be whizzing down any roads near you anytime soon though, as the Japanese giant hasn't revealed plans to sell the car to the public.
Back to Samsung, which unveiled its new beeping robot assistant called Bally. It's a small robot that follows you around. It can act as your personal trainer and apparently captures special moments with its camera. It can also take chores off your hands by controlling smart appliances. Can't follow you up the stairs though.
And there's been competition here at CES to see who can unveil the wackiest robot. And Chinese firm Pudu Tech showed off a cat-faced waiter for ferrying around meals in busy restaurants.
Really?
BellaBot makes a soft meow when it reaches its hungry customers and will even react to petting.
Right.
Pet it for too long though, and it'll be annoyed at you for distracting it from its job. And finally, from the company that developed the vegetarian burger that bleeds, Impossible Foods has created a pork substitute. It's made from a substance called heme, which is a molecule found in some plants and meat. Made in a lab to give a texture that resembles actual meat, the company hopes it will help break into pork-loving China. The first product to feature the new foodstuff, the Impossible Sausage, is launching in the US this week. Yes.
Now, one of the hottest areas over the last few years has been streaming, with loads of new services joining Netflix in the battle for eyeballs. Here at CES, a pretty new idea has been unveiled. Quibi is a streaming service specifically for mobiles. It's going to be a subscription service offering high production value films presented in bite-sized 10-minute chunks to be watched on the go. But most interestingly, each film will be full screen no matter which way up you hold your phone and no matter when you switch between orientations. And instead of getting a compromised cropped view when watching in portrait mode, you get different shots specifically chosen by the director that work in that orientation. Each Quibi film is basically two films running in parallel, with the ability to switch between them at any moment. This was the main aim of the founders Meg Whitman and ex-Disney chairman and DreamWorks founder Jeffrey Katzenberg.
We knew for our use case that people are on the go, right? We think that our use case is 7 in the morning till 7 at night. So maybe you get on the bus and you're holding your phone in portrait and then you want to watch something in landscape and then you get off and you want to, so we knew we had to go seamlessly portrait to landscape, and we wanted it to be full screen video because a lot of video on your phone isn't full screen video today because it hasn't been shot for the right aspect ratio. So we got together and we said, you know, we've got to shoot this content differently. We've got to shoot the film a little differently, but then we have to render it and we have to be able to do this portrait to landscape transition without taking down tremendous battery power or tremendous bandwidth. And so there was a technical challenge and a challenge around you know, how the film was going to be shot. And that's a little bit of the magic of Jeffrey and I coming together to found this company, because you know, he knows the creative side, I know the tech side, and we were able to do something that no one's done before.
Apparently you're filming a lot in 8K, and that's how you can get good resolution portrait crops of your footage. That's really expensive, isn't it?
Well, we didn't set out here to cut corners. We set out here to deliver people something that's unlike anything they've seen before, and that has a price tag about it. You know, it's not user-generated content, which we admire, and it's great, and it's made for pennies or dollars a minute. We're making content for $100,000 a minute, and yes, it's expensive, but that's worth paying for, we think.
Hello?
Hey there.
The ability to show different shots depending on which way the phone is orientated is taken even further in the short film Nest, where watching in landscape shows a normal cinematic film, but switching to portrait shows what the main character can see on her phone screen instead.
You know what? I'll come back. You have a good one.
I mean, there's only so many streaming services that anyone's going to be able to pay for. That's got to be a consideration.
Ultimately, on a mega thing, it's like, yes, we can't all afford to have every single thing that we want. So yeah, in that regard, you're right. At the macro level or at the 50,000 feet down, yes, we are competing for people's
Entertainment dollars, broadly speaking, I think.
Yeah, but at $4.99 a month, we think we're awfully affordable and differentiated from what anybody else is doing.
$4.99, very expensive production values. Are you going to make money anytime?
We see a day where we will become profitable in the not too distant future. And then we will have a decision to make. If the thing is growing like crazy, do we invest more in content and in marketing and folks? But we, I will tell you, we are really responsible from a financial perspective. And we created a business plan that our first set of investors underwrote because we told them what the runway looked like to profitability.
This is not one of those things where we said, let's build an audience, then we'll figure out if we can make money.
That's never been done before.
No, we're, as Meg said, we're two old dogs. We've run businesses, we've been public company CEOs. Day one, this has got a very clear path to profitability reasonably early.
Of course, it's not just streamers who are trying to get our attention. Advertisers are in a constant battle, and it's getting increasingly hard for them. So I've been looking at a company that's using computer vision and AI to put ads in the footage that we're already watching after it's been made. In our fast-paced world of growing impatience, who wants to sit through an advert? So could this be the solution? Right here beside me is a blank wall, but that's easy enough to change. Myriad hopes so, as it's using AI to find the right spots for the right advertising in the content we're already watching. I'm just sending some video footage that we've created, and from there the AI can select where in the image the advert should be placed.
In terms of the detection and understanding the availability and where the inventory sits within the content, that's all done by the AI. Where we do require a human eye is the actual embed work because of the complexity of shadows and lighting and things like that. So we have a very skilled team that actually post-analysis then places that brand in because a machine will struggle to learn to, for example, if there's a scene where there's a car crash, you wouldn't necessarily want a car brand in there, for example. It really depends on the type of content. So if you're using something like a soap opera, for example, where the context and the scenes are quite repetitive, you're from a cafe to a pub to a street, what you'll actually find is that when we can identify something, it actually needs to be continuous, right? So you can't just have it in one scene and then disappear in another. It's very useful for that, to identify and then place that and have that continuous throughout the scene. I thought this one was quite an interesting observation here by the AI, which is in the background. It's actually a relatively sort of obvious place to put something, but you might not as a human have necessarily said, oh, let's place this in the background and cover that window.
I tell you, one of my favourite parts of CES is wandering around looking at all the weird stuff that companies have invented.
Absolutely.
For example, any idea what that is?
Microphone. Oh,
yeah, it's supposed to do that. Yeah, don't worry.
They come off. Okay, some strange headphones?
No, they're not actually. No, this is, if I may, of course, the shoe blast. If you've got smelly shoes, this will sort them out. Can I borrow some shoes to demonstrate?
Yours might be more appropriate.
No, trust me, I smelt yours. There we go.
You go for the smell.
Why are you so much shorter all of a sudden? You pop this in there,
behind the shoe.
switch it on, and it blasts it with UV light and warms and dries them at the same time.
Right.
It's marvellous. It genuinely is my favourite part of CES, wandering around and looking at the weird stuff. Here's Chris Fox's roundup of all the quirky stuff around.
Oh, hi there, you just caught me getting a tattoo.
They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Thanks to Prinker, these tattoos will, because they'll wash right off. You choose what you want from the app. I'm going to get this little fox, and then here we go. Hey! Branded for life. Well, at least until I shower.
Now check this out. This is light thread. It's made out of micro LEDs and it fits through the eye of a needle. It wasn't a glass case, but I convinced the company to let me poke it for a few seconds just to show you how small it is. Now there's no plans to put this in any clothes at the moment, so I've challenged them to do it for next CES. I've stopped for a little gaming break to play with Vortex. It's basically a little fan in a box that blasts you with hot or cold air to make your gaming more immersive.
Look, Mum, no keys. This is Selfie Type, a concept from Samsung C Lab. The idea is that instead of typing on a tiny smartphone screen, you can use your selfie camera and just touch type on the table in front of you, and the camera recognizes the letters that you are trying to type in your head. And it's weird because I've been put in training mode here. I've only had a few minutes to try it, and I've really got some speed up. It does work.
Now I know it's the wrong month for a Christmas tree, but I wanted to show you these lights which can make coordinated patterns. And it can do that because using your phone, you very quickly can map the location of each individual LED. And that means you can also draw custom patterns on your Christmas tree. Now it's about $300 for a string of 600 LEDs, which means this tree is worth nearly $2,000.
This is the Ulti Racer. You clip in your own bike and use it to control video games. And the innovation here is that I can even lean side to side and steer, and the company promises me I will never fall off. The faster I pedal, the more bullets I shoot in this game. And there's even a little racing game. I'd love to see them link two of these together so I can play Mario Kart with friends.
Time for some smartphone prototypes, and if you want to future-proof your existing phone and turn it into one of those modern folding phones, then perhaps this device from Pocket Monitors can help. It's a clip-on display that turns your existing phone into a three-way folding phone. Well, sort of. Or why not go for something completely different and have a round smartphone? The Circle phone lets you make round calls and send round messages, although you can't take a round selfie, at least not yet. Even stranger, this device doesn't just have a headphone jack, it has two, so you can listen to songs with friends. The creator said she wants to make it because people are more naturally drawn to circles.
Now we've seen coffee machines that make drinks from little capsules. This machine makes cupcakes and cookies. It's called Tigu, it's from Argentina. What I do is open these pods here and squeeze the dough into these little cooking trays, and then into the machine they go. It's going to take about 5 minutes to cook, so let's do like a time lapse or something. Okay, well, it's time for the taste test. Here we go. That is good. Rodrigo, that is good. That is good. I think it would be rude if I didn't stay here and make absolutely sure that they all taste as good. So I'll see you in a bit. Oh.
That's Chris Fox's roundup, and that's it from us, from CES, at least for this week.
Yes, there are more amazing things to come from here next week.
In the meantime, you know where we are, don't you? Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Twitter at BBC Click. Pay us a visit. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.
Bye.